Very good morning. So today we are going to discuss the skeletal muscle relaxant. The muscle relaxant. The skeletal muscle relaxants. These are the group of drugs. They act the two aspect. I mean there are two way. It will helps to reduce the muscle contraction and reduce the muscle tone by acting peripherally and centrally. So there are two way the drugs which helps to control the muscle tone. It causes muscle relaxation. So, muscle relaxant are drugs that act peripherally and centrally. Through peripherally at neuromuscular junction or muscle fiber itself. There's a way and slide you can able to see. Or centrally by through CNS, it acting in the cerebrospinal axis to reduce the muscle tone. It leads to muscle relaxation, muscle paralysis even. Here we should know why we should reduce this muscle tone and why it leads to relaxation of muscle. Generally, these muscle relaxants are we are using as a pre-operative medication because naturally we have some muscle tone because of this muscle contraction relaxation only. As simple as that, I can say for example, respiratory muscle, diaphragm, intercostal muscle, and lungs muscle. So, because of this contraction relaxation, only the respiration can happen. Without this contraction relaxation, there is no possibilities of the respiration. Even for contraction relaxation of myocardial muscle, then only our the cardiac pumping out, the blood is supplied through to the body. Even the our skeletal muscle and smooth muscle, so because of this contraction relaxation, I think anatomy physiology you may studied. Because of this contraction relaxation, so that is your body movements can happen. See, if it is just imagine fully relaxed, there is no further contraction, just fully weakness. I think you have maybe the stroke patients. You can see the stroke patients. You see, so they could not able to that is fully weakness of any particular part of the body. The stroke is the cause or reason is different, but just for example purpose, I'm telling you all. So because of muscle contraction relaxation, your body can movement. See, normally if we are speaking, so facial muscle should be very normal physiology, normal muscle contraction relaxation. Otherwise, you will get slurred speech. Your your face become that see that old age people you can see suppose 50, 90 plus or 80 plus people for a loosening of muscle, especially geriatric problem. So loosening of the facial muscle. That's what they felt the slurred speech. They could not get the correct physical structure because in adult and young age we have the normal stiffness and normal physical structure that because of the normal muscle tone, either both way as a skeletal and smooth muscle, the muscle tone, because naturally and normally we have the muscle tone, but certain cases we need to relax that muscle because in pharmacology we are studying, you should relax the muscle only in certain cases, some clinical conditions we need to relaxation of muscle tone. Why we need to muscle relaxation means only on the purpose of surgery. For example, if you want to do a total knee replacement surgery, we want to perform some total hip replacement surgery, or if you want to perform anything like some any like GA surgery or anything. So normally we have fully it should be very relaxed. Suppose if you want to make incision, the muscle should be cooperate, should be relaxed form. Suppose while making for cesarean section or something is for for performing any GA surgery. So that muscle should be fully flexible. Just imagine like flexible, should be flexible, should be relaxed. Then only easily we can perform the surgery. And some kind of clinical disorders also is there, some physiological disorders. For example, myasthenia gravis. So myasthenia gravis is a drastic, the muscle contraction. So in certain some clinical conditions also we were using this muscle relaxant. But in generally, for example, even tetanus, as you know that tetanus, it is a the severe the effect on the muscle contraction, it paralyzes the muscle tone. And convulsion, I mean PITS patients. That means abnormal electric impulses from brain to the end of the cell. You can see that abnormal contraction relaxation, atonic and aclonic, tonic clonic seizure. That means that muscle tone will be paralysis. Just imagine that now PITS patient. So see, normal, natural, we have the just imagine that your four limbs, I mean the hand. Normal we have contraction relaxation. If in seizure cases that it happens even around the 60 seconds, not around 1 minute or 1.5 minute. So during that period, suddenly it leads to the abnormal. It paralyzes the muscle tone. For relaxing that pain, so we can use this muscle relaxant. But clinically, we are using for most uses for as a pre-operative medications along with the general anesthetics. So along with general anesthetic, because general anesthetics are clinically we are using to reduce the muscle tone, and also to reduce or to lose the pain sensory impulses. Purpose of using anesthetic agents to losing the pain sensation. But the only thing is we could separately we could not able to relax. I mean to could not relieve the only pain sensory impulses. So what happened? Total sense will be lost. So total sensory impulses will be lost. That including pain. Our target is only to want to relieve the pain impulse, pain sense. Because pain is a kind of sensory impulse. So, but the thing is, we could not totally relax. I mean, totally remove the. We cannot, totally remove the pains, only pain sensation, but all sensory impulse will be lost. So, once we are using this muscle relaxant along with anesthetic agents, we'll get better surgical intervention. We can do the better way. Can do the surgery or surgical interventions. So, muscle relaxants. So, then we are talking how this relaxation will produce. There are two aspects: peripherally and centrally. Centrally, as simple as that, you have to mind that through the brain, through the central nervous system. Peripherally, I think last class you maybe previous we have studied the drugs acting on autonomic nervous system. So drugs acting on autonomic nervous system, that is other than the central nervous system. That means the preganglionic nerve, the perisynaptic nerve, synapse, postsynaptic nerve, then the nerve endings, neuromuscular junction. See, for example, in cholinergic nervous system, so the nerve endings at neuromuscular junction releases the acetylcholine. Hence, we can call as cholinergic nervous system. In adrenergic nervous system, releases the nerve terminals. Okay, nerve terminals are nerve fibers as a muscle fiber, or we can call as neuromuscular junction releases the noradrenaline. Hence, it is adrenergic nervous system. So these drugs will acting on the neuromuscular junction. See, first point, skeletal muscle relaxants are drugs that act peripherally, means under peripheral nervous system at neuromuscular junction slash muscle fiber. So it does not acting on via brain, so it acting on the that muscle endings, nerve endings, that where acetylcholine is synthesized. Second, acting through centrally in the cerebrospinal axis to reduce muscle tone, because just now I said muscle normal naturally we have some muscle tone physiology. So here we want to relax the muscle, so by reducing the muscle tone. Okay, now it is understand that there are two aspects: drug action acting through peripherally at neuromuscular junction. Second, through brain. Okay, so next point you see, almost the slide it is I prepared are mostly almost simplified, and I wrote it the points. Uh, Next point, the neuromuscular blocking agents. That means the drugs peripherally acting muscle relaxant. Neuromuscular blocking agents are used primarily in combination with general anesthesia or general anesthetics. Conjugation, nothing but conjunction with nothing but a combination, combined. Usually, we are using along with general anesthetics to provide muscle relaxation for surgery. That is, it is understood. This neuromuscular blocking agent that is there in next classification. So where we are using is we are using along with general anesthetic, for example, thiopentol, propofol. So whatever we are using this general anesthetics, along with this we are using this. That's what I said is a very good pre-operative medication. Before surgery, before operation, we are using this. Generally, instead of in it's alone, so we are using along with general anesthetic. We'll get better muscle relaxation because previous topic we discussed sedative and hypnotic. So sedative hypnotic example diazepam, which I have very good general, I mean muscle relaxant action, and very good sedation, very good to hypnotic agent. So muscle relaxation is very good beneficial effect. So even diazepam also we are using as a pre-operative medication. Actually, diazepam, what is diazepam? Diazepam is centrally acting muscle relaxant. Okay, it is classified, it is listed under because basically it's a CNS acting drug. So diazepam is centrally acting muscle relaxant because you have to keep it in mind. It's a drugs acting on the through brain, through centrally, but remaining other portions that is peripherally acting. Peripherally acting is exactly on the nerve fiber. At least that you can understand. So directly on the nerve fiber or muscle, but central means directly on the through brain. Okay, next point is it is written. Centrally acting muscle relaxants are used mainly for painful muscle spasm and spastic neurological conditions. For example, tetanus, convulsion, the Pitts patients. I said no, Pitts patients. For them, I said no, abnormal. That is our muscle tone will be paralyzed. The spasm, muscle spasm, you can understand. The painful muscle spasm. So painful muscle spasm or muscle tone will be decreased or released. So due to this, we'll get the muscle relaxant effect. As simple as that. So that is called first one is peripherally acting muscle relaxant. Second, centrally acting muscle relaxant. So muscle relaxants are there are two: one is peripherally acting and centrally acting. This is understood. Is it clear? Ma? Okay. Next, we'll pass on to classification. Okay. First one, peripherally acting muscle relaxant. First one under neuromuscular blocking agent. See, neuromuscular blocking agent means you should understand that. So, neuromuscular junction, the drugs acting on the neuromuscular junction. Do you understand that which is neuromuscular junction? Because that is nerve endings. Just remember that I wrote it. What do you say? Uh, Presynaptic nerve, synapse, postsynaptic nerves. So that at the nerve terminals, I wrote it acetylcholine ACH. That some arrow mark ACH. That is acetylcholine. It releases the at nerve terminals, nerve muscle fiber. So these drugs in action on that neuromuscular junction under A, non-depolarizing blockers. Here don't get confusion. Non-depolarizing blocker means see here. You remember that action potential curve. So action potential curve by entry of yes. I'm admitting. I think the Kalpana is not taking. Okay. So that means, uh, yeah. You remember now action potential curve that is depolarizing The next curve, I mean, the coming down is repolarization. The time taking between the depolarization and repolarization, that is called resting potential. So depolarization by entry of sodium and efflux of potassium, it causes depolarization. So this even there are both aspect, either there will be a either CNS or either there will be a peripherally acting also. Have you studied action potential curve, no? Ma? You all studied action potential curve, no? So that means here what I'm trying to say is, see, it is given example is a heading is non-depolarizing blockers. That means competitively they're blocking the depolarization curve. Here, see, the depolarization means, and see, for example, if entry of sodium, that's what I said, sodium is responsible for muscle excitability, muscle contraction. So entry of sodium will raise the means efflux of potassium will raise the action depolarization. Ma'am, good morning, ma'am. అదే అదే మ్యామ్. అదే మేము ఇప్పుడు మోడల్ హాస్పిటల్ పోతాను మార్నింగ్. నేను దాంతో ఇన్ఫార్మ్ చేస్తాను. రిటర్న్ నేను మనం వస్తాం ఇటు. సరే, సరే మ్యామ్, సరే మ్యామ్. ఓకే, ఓకే, సారీ. So the entry of sodium, efflux of potassium, it start the depolarization. That means we'll get the muscle contraction. Here we our aim is we want to relax the muscle, the contraction. So we want to block, we want to inhibit. That's what it is given in bracket, competitive blockers of depolarization are nothing but non-depolarization or non-depolarizing blockers. Okay, its mechanism action also is there, we'll discuss. So that means here understand that we don't want here depolarization, we don't want that depolarization reaction. So and then only we'll get the muscle relaxation effect, muscle relaxant effect. Clear? That's what the example classification itself it has given that non-depolarizing blockers. Example, it is given based on the duration of action: long acting, intermediate acting, short acting. So keep it in mind, D tibocurarin is the important one as an exam point of view, even clinically also. That's what I put star mark. I've written notes, no ma? I've written notes. Do you have notes with you now? Okay, so D-tubocurarin is the important one. So the remaining pancuronium, doxycycline. So as per the classification, intermediate acting and short acting, the muscle relaxant. So that is, but this peripherally acting muscle relaxant means it is action on the neuromuscular blocking, neuromuscular junction. So what it is neuromuscular junction means that drugs, that where the neurotransmitters are the is secreted, it maybe is ended, released. So that agents are, you can call it as neuromuscular junction. Second, depolarizing blockers directly. So depolarizing, that's what I said, that totally we want to block the depolarization, the curve. So what is that curve means? Then only see entry of sodium only, that see here we are talking, see before even previous class we are talking about no brain cell. We are here we are talking about muscle cell. Only slight difference only. The same effect we can find on the cardiac cell. Even previous under we are talking about the cardiac arrhythmiasis. Can you remember that? Antiarrhythmic drugs, so sodium channel blocker. So that is, see, nothing is different. Only thing is cells only different. There we are talking about cardiac cell. When we are talking about next topic we have for nursing anticonvulsant. There we are talking about brain cell. Here we are talking about muscle cell. But the physiological actions wherever all over it is similar. So entry of sodium, depolarization will occur, contraction will occur. At the same time, entry of sodium and effects of potassium will get depolarization. But the repolarization means entry of potassium, because once entered potassium, sodium, it will goes out. So next potassium will goes inside, potassium, sodium will goes out. That is repolarization. Okay. So time taking between these two, that is called resting potential. Here, just as simple understanding. Here we don't want depolarization. We want to relax the muscle. We don't want to contraction of muscle. So we want to relax the muscles by blocking, by preventing depolarization of muscle cell. Understand? Example: succinylcholine, decamethonium. So then directly acting agents are directly acting as going to block the specifically on that neuromuscular junction, totally blocking that receptor site. So this is peripherally acting muscle relaxant. Clear? Peripherally acting muscle relaxant directly acting on the means on specifically on muscle cell, on muscle fiber or neuromuscular junction. Okay, the next the classification. So centrally acting muscle relaxant. So centrally acting muscle relaxants are, see the description it has given. These are the drugs which acts on the CNS and reduce skeletal muscle relaxation without loss of consciousness. So here we don't want to affect any conscious. We want to reduce the muscle tone, but via brain, via CNS. Okay. So here before we are talking about skeletal muscle relaxant. So that's acting through periphery exactly on muscle cell. Suppose just imagine your wrist, sorry, what do you say, knee joint. So exactly it is acting on this specific area, but here centrally means through brain. Classification. First one mefenazine and mefenazine derivative and benzodiazepine derivative. That's what even under we are discussed under sedative hypnotic. It is very good, muscle relaxant. Sedative is benzodiazepine derivatives, all diazepam, nitrazepam, clonazepam, whatever it is there in the derivatives of benzodiazepine. GABA derivative baclofen. Because why GABA? It is because GABA is a inhibitory neurotransmitter. Because benzodiazepine also is going to inhibit the GABA neurotransmitter. No, so that related to action. Next, central alpha two agonist. Central alpha two agonist. That means see here alpha is a specific what is a adrenergic receptor. This is one other mode of actions, but action through centrally. That's what specifically it mentions centrally alpha two agonist. Tizanidine. See, this tizanidine clinically we are using for various, the normal painkiller, like along with the diclofenac, along with the diclofenac. So along with diclofenac, along with paracetamol, along with another NSAIDs, we are using this. Okay, so tizanidine is commonly used because newer drug. See, because the mefenazine, benzodiazepine will get sedation. Suppose we are in, if you felt severe back pain, we are imagine just where you felt severe some muscle muscular pain, sprain, just imagine when you're using even our normal analgesic NSAIDs are not much effective. So nowadays ready made it's available. That is an advanced in pharmaceutical. The tablet it contains both tizanidine with the diclofenac, tizanidine with brufen, tizanidine with nimesulide. So we'll get muscle relaxation with pain relieving effect. Because of inflammation we'll get pain. So our NSAID, that is diclobrufen, nimesulide, will control the pain and inflammation. So if you take tizanidine, you can see, we can put it on Google also, diclofenac with tizanidine. We'll get various brand names. So that means with one day one tablet will get relief from severe back pain, what to say, or joint pains. So that means it is a not a NSAID, it is a muscle relaxant with NSAIDs. So but this action through the centrally acting muscle relaxant, or centrally means by through the brain. This understood, ma? Okay. Next in detail we will discuss about D-tibocurarin. So this is separate 5 marks question. Especially allied science is important, because you people are directly acting when you are working on OT section. You should aware about this muscle relaxant action. So D-tibocurarin is a specific separate 5 marks question. Okay, separate 5 marks question. Hmm. So separate 5 marks question. Okay, okay, okay. Separate 5 marks question. Separate 5 marks question. This is separate D-tibocurarin, or otherwise they'll have simply skeletal muscle relaxant. Actually, for allied science, before it was for a long essay also to classify various skeletal muscle relaxant, question mark. Write the mechanism action user side effect of D-tubacurarin. You see the previous question paper, you come to know what is important. But nursing, it's a 5 marks question choice. Okay, first I'll discuss in detail D-tubacurarin. D-tubacurarin. Okay, I'll discuss in detail. The time irukilla. Okay, D-tubacurarin. So it is a quaternary ammonium alkylate because its pure lead is derived from the plant source. It's a plant source. Its pure lead is derived from plant. See, second point, you can understand this anticholinergic effect at neuromuscular junction. Here, see, that's because see, your one thing you have to understand, this is peripherally acting. There is autonomic nervous system. It acting through autonomic nervous system or acting through peripheral nervous system. But here it is clear. If you understand what is the meaning of anticholinergic, you can able to write answer. What is mean by anticholinergic? Yes, anybody? What do you understand? Anticholinergic. Good. To block or to against to antagonize the acetylcholine action, that is called anticholinergic via receptor. Clear? So that means for a good example, atropine. Atropine is very good anticholinergic. But here we are not talking about atropine. Because see, based on the clinical use only, we are choosing. See, always we cannot use, we're not using, atropine. See, this why specifically I mentioned anticholinergic effect at neuromuscular junction is because here you should understand what is the action of acetylcholine, because we are talking acetyl means in smooth muscle relaxation. See, action of acetylcholine on muscle, it causes muscle contraction. Keep it in mind. Repeatedly, I'm telling you, acetylcholine action on, see, because we have different action. Once because natural neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. There's a natural chemical mediator. What happened if acetylcholine excessive? That's what I said. Example, suppose poison, as drug poisoning, snake bite poisoning, something is organophosphorus poisoning. What happen? Poison will come and enter into inside, so it will causes releases the excess of acetylcholine. What happen? It causes the meiosis effect on eyes, excess of secretion. Can you follow me? Okay, excess of secretion. That's what movies also they'll create a show on saliva, excess of foam on mouth, excess of lacrimation, all secretions, and that on muscles are smooth, totally muscle contraction, severe. It causes muscle contraction. So here we are talking about muscle relaxation. We'll take because leave it other. We'll get confusion. So on muscles, acetylcholine cause muscle contraction. So here we want to block that acetylcholine action at nerve terminals at neuromuscular junction. Okay, you see mechanism action. Even some more you can detail you can understand. So and clear, just very simple sentence I have written. D-tubacurarin competes with acetylcholine. Competes means or it may be it will competitor means opposing or just you are opposing. For example, you and me, I am competitor you, or you are friends, you are competitor. Just if you can't remember that word, you leave it. D-tubacurarin against with acetylcholine. Okay, that wording you can change, nothing an issue. But as a as a theoretically I wrote that competes word. You can, if you can't remember, if you feel difficult to remember that word, you leave it. So G-tubacurarin oppose with acetylcholine with the receptors. In bracket, there is cholinergic receptors at neuromuscular junction. So that is how, because of the classification it has come, no? Because the classification, so direct this neuromuscular blocking agent. That means the drug acting means oppose or against the acetylcholine at neuromuscular junction via receptor. Because always I said whatever it may be should up through proper channel. The drug bind with specific cholinergic receptor, then only it oppose the acetylcholine action. Directly it cannot possible. Just like T-tubacurine also, just like atropine like action only. Next, so ACH acetylcholine is prevented from Okay, you slowly you read that each every word you can understand. So acetylcholine is prevented from combining with receptor, so depolarization is prevented. See, if it's acetylcholine is there, then only it's muscle contraction. If muscle acetylcholine is not combined with receptor, so what happened? So that muscle contraction will be paralysis. That means depolarization. Here the word they used depolarization. Hence this effect to produce muscle relaxation. Is it clear, ma? Very as it is simple. It is very and it is a very good anticholinergic action. After taking T-tuberculin, the drug oppose the acetylcholine action. How? By binding with the receptor, it going to prevent the or it oppose that prevent to acetylcholine to bind with the receptor. This effect to causes muscle relaxation. As simple as that, anticholinergic action. If you understood that anticholinergic meaning, so that is there will be a muscle relaxation effect, because you have to remember that acetylcholine action on muscle, it causes muscle contraction. So opposite actions we want to relax that, so muscle relaxation. Clear? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? Okay. See, after that, see, if this is exact action. No? After that, if you want, you can write, especially suppose if, especially allied signs, if it is long essay, you write in detailed mechanism. Otherwise, if I must question, only up to this first paragraph is enough, because much detail is specific and limited exact answer. See, under the next, in a muscle at rest as large concentration of intracellular calcium, large intracellular sodium. So in muscle cell at rest as large concentration of intracellular potassium, and exterior of the muscle means outside of the muscle cell as large concentration of sodium. That's what that is I'm talking about action potential curve. An entry of sodium in muscle cell is not possible during resting phase. If you that means the first point is anticholinergic. Second thing is based on the electrolyte exchange mechanism they are trying to explain. So that means by entry of sodium, the depolarization will start, and entry of sodium and efflux of potassium. So because of depolarization, muscle contraction will cause. I mean, it will clear. I mean, will maybe exerted. Without this muscle, depolarization, there is no muscle contraction. See, if you see that at bottom of the slide, can you able to see the slide? No, ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದಿಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ? Okay, you see that depolarization, entry of sodium, efflux of potassium, depolarization. See that, just I'll read. Okay, when acetylcholine is liberated by nerve terminals and nerve impulse, sodium ions move into the cell. Okay, sodium is clearly you read. Sodium ions moving means from ECF to ICF, move into the cell, and potassium out of the cell. This effect produces depolarization. This leads to mechanical contraction of muscle. This understand? See, that means depolarization curve, muscle contraction. After muscle contraction, the sodium ions extruded, means from out goes out of the cell, and potassium enter into the cell. Next paragraph. This produces repolarization. That means contraction. Depolarization means contraction. Repolarization means relaxation. Here we don't want contraction. We want relaxation. We want to stop depolarization. Clear? Get confusion? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ confusion? That's what is the name itself. It is ಏನಮ್ಮ? Okay. See, that means you just observe it is on deep. I mean action potential curve. At nerve terminals, at neuromuscular junction, acetylcholine is synthesized. Released. Nerve impulses, nerve terminals. On muscle cell, the sodium ions enter into the cell and potassium goes out. That means you see that in a graph, I put arrow mark inside. Sodium will goes inside, potassium will come out. So that phase, that stage is depolarization will start. That means muscle produce contraction, muscle will active, muscle contraction. Once again, read this. Sodium ions move into the cell, move into, and potassium ions out of the cell. This produces depolarization. Okay, sodium goes inside, potassium coming out. This stage produces depolarization. This leads to mechanical contraction of muscle. As simple as that, depolarization andre muscle contraction ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೆಂಗೆ depolarization ಆಯಿತು? So sodium entered inside the cell and potassium will goes out. So depolarization. So just imagine next stage immediately. So after muscle contractions again it will goes relaxation. No, so because see, suppose you just imagine doing exercise. You are bending and standing. So muscle contraction, relaxation. So while relaxation, after muscle contraction is over, sodium is extracted or sodium ions are out from the cell and potassium ions enter into the cell. I'm reading the second paragraph. After muscle contraction is over, sodium ions are extruded or means outside from the cell and potassium ions are entered into the cell. This produces repolarization. So on repolarization only it is called muscle relaxation. Here thing is our drugs will block the depolarization. Now you see the, if you have notes, you see the classification. Classification what is clear is saying non-depolarization blockers and depolarizing blockers. So here we don't want the depolarizing stage or depolarization. We want to block the depolarization. Just understand this. If you understand that meaning, so that is according to that action only. It is classification also. It is classified. Allied science. It is understand. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಮ್ಮ because it is a clearly, because for you people is very important. So because based on the mechanism of action only, the classification is classified non-depolarizing blocker. We want to, as simple as that, at least you keep it in mind. So depolarizing blockers, we want to block that depolarization curve. Okay, next one. I hope you understand. Next, you simply read this one by one side that sentence, you can understand. That means as simple as that, anticholinergic action, because acetylcholine produce, because I'm repeatedly why I'm telling you that mechanism action is, if you understand mechanism action, you can easily remember the classification, because the classification is based on the that mechanism action only. Neuromuscular blocking agent means neuromuscular blocking agent, blockers means, so that means it opposite or block the acetylcholine on neuromuscular junction. And after that, as per the as per the action potential curve, they classified to block the non-depolarizing and depolarizing blockers. So here you have to understand, you have to block the depolarization curve. What result will get after blocking depolarization? Will get muscle contraction will be stopped and will produce muscle relaxation. Okay. Next, uses. So this that's so here you have to you have to draw that action potential curve. Because while writing notes, I didn't written in abstract. That's what I put on bottom. Okay, you have to, while writing mechanism action, you draw this action potential curve. You put that depolarization. Okay, it is muscle contraction relaxation. So uses, it is an adjuvant in general anesthesia to produce muscle relaxation. That means it is the additive occurring. These muscle relaxants are using along with anesthetic agents. Next, in orthopedic procedures for correction of dislocation, especially even for major surgeries, also total knee joint replacement, hip joint replacement, anything surgery is an ortho surgery. To prevent trauma in electroshock therapy. Next, to decreases muscle spasm, muscle pain in tetanus and convulsion. Tetanus, severe muscle contraction, convulsion, that is PITS. In the diagnosis of myasthenia gravis. Myasthenia gravis is a drastic muscle contraction. Okay, drastic muscle contraction. Muscle, that muscle is autoimmune disease, myasthenia gravis. Okay, so that is it. Maybe this we are using this tituberculin as a very as simple as that muscle relaxation, muscle relaxant. Clear? Next one, adverse effect. Okay, adverse effect of this. Just imagine what happen if it's fully muscle. See here, we don't want fully muscle relaxation. We don't want fully contraction. Suppose a normal dose. If it is normal dose, only during surgery only we want to relax the muscle. Otherwise, see, just imagine if you are giving overdose. So you see, respiratory failure due to paralysis of respiratory muscle. That's what I said. If you are just imagine, because that's what in introduction itself I started that respiratory muscle due because of muscle contraction relaxation only respiration can happen. So you may study the respiration of in another anatomy physiology. So if you are using the medicines for surgery, ortho surgery, if you are just imagine overdose you are given, what happened? Totally your muscle, I mean respiratory muscles. See, we have no any separate bypass to only knee joint. We have any separate bypass to any hip joint or something is any particular particular part of the body. Once entered in your body, all our system will takes. All muscles are get relaxed. Just imagine if without contraction, no respiration, it leads to respiratory paralysis, leads to death. So if you understand the mechanism, if you understand the action, so side effect will be easy. So respiratory muscles are get paralysis, leads to death. Next, hypotension, cardiovascular collapse. Why hypotension? Because of relaxation. Just imagine relaxation of vessel. What will produce? Vasodilatation. Relaxation of even cardio muscle, no contraction. It causes cardiovascular collapse ultimately. Clear? The main cause cardiorespiratory failure. Cardiorespiratory failure. Nagaraj, 2 minutes చేస్తాను. That means here, sorry. So that means here you will get cardiorespiratory failure. Why it is cardiorespiratory failure? ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ failure ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? Yes, because because normal physiologies we have to contraction, relaxation simultaneously, then only we will get better actions. Okay. So dosage, as it is only is injection form. There is no oral formulation. So this is about T-tuberculin. Why stressly I know explaining about this T-tuberculin is important. I am asked question, especially that allied science, even nursing also it is important one. Okay, next one. So yeah, pancuronium. 1 second. Okay. Next drug is succinylcholine. Before it is sometimes maybe unexpectedly. So next depolarization blocker succinylcholine. Okay. So it is a, just I'll read out. It is a quaternary ammonium compound. It has structurally resembling two molecules of acetylcholine joined together. See how we can remember succinylcholine means acetylcholine, succinylcholine. So suffix same choline, acetylcholine. So two molecules of acetylcholine become succinylcholine. It act, see action. It act by producing prolonged depolarization. Again the depolarization. See that heading itself classification. You see if you have notes, class notes, you see turn the depolarization. It's the classification. Depolarization blockers example succinylcholine. So that means that's what I said many times. If you study clearly, understanding your classification, easily you remember the mechanism of action. If you understand mechanism of action, easily remember classification, because based on the mechanism of action only, the classification also is derived or classified. So is blocking the depolarization, because we are prolonging the depolarization, because depolarization means muscle contraction. Here we don't want to muscle contraction. We want to relax the muscle, tone muscle contraction. Since we want to stop that depolarization mechanism. Hence it is the acting, it's producing prolonged depolarization. Clear? That's what we'll get muscle relaxation. So as usual, then remaining as, so this is the exact action. This understand, no? Remaining that as per the theoretically it has written. If you read out, you can understand that. Okay. Uses, succinylcholine is the most commonly used muscle relaxant, especially I think especially OT people, that while doing intubation, by doing endoscopic surgery, by doing trachea ET tube insertion of ET tube, especially nursing people also are doing performing procedures, endoscopy, colonoscopies, and also doing intubations, doing a endotracheal tube insertion. So these procedure we are using this excellent intubating conditions, relaxed jaw vocal cord, because the intubation See, that means fully, it should be very fully relaxed. Your muscles should be very relaxed, then it will associate, you may, it will associated or maybe cooperate with procedure. Your muscle has to cooperate. It's a, just imagine fully stiffness. See, if I'm doing your shake hand and simple, you also should cooperate. See, if you are fully stiffness means I cannot, I'm telling for example, okay. See, if I'm giving shake hand, you also should be relaxed. Then only you'll be with, like, mutually, shaking hand. See, suppose I'm shaking hand, you are fully stiffness, you are fully, you are getting in a stiffness. So there is no much, the cooperation, there is no much of relaxation. Should be relaxed, then only the procedure can perform. Okay, so it is very good muscle relaxation. Adverse effect: hypotension, changes in BP, cardiac arrhythmia because of muscle relaxation effect. So totally it causes the muscle relaxation. Here, there will be chances of hyperkalemia because of that influx of sodium, means it prolongs the depolarization curve. That's what it is. The influx, I mean, means influx of potassium, there will be excessive. So there will be chances of the potassium abnormalities, electrolyte imbalance level in the inside, or maybe in the blood. How can you get it? That is, it is especially hyperkalemia. Why it's hyperkalemia means, so because of, you see, so entry of sodium and reflux of potassium depolarization, because we are extending, we are extending the prolonging the depolarization curve. That's what excess of potassium level. Clear? That's what is hyperkalemia, is a specific side effect. So remaining as it is, so muscle relaxation, because of that we'll get the, the side effect also. Okay. So next one is pancuronium. So pancuronium, it is a synthetic neuromuscular blocking agent. Okay, pancuronium, it is example under first one, and D-tubacurarin is a natural, pancuronium is synthetic. Just very as simple as that. Very, the difference between D-tubacurarin and pancuronium. Pancuronium, the CC suffix name. D-tubacurarin, pancuronium. Pancuronium is a synthetic, the synthetic neuromuscular blocking agent. But D-tubacurarin is natural neuromuscular blocking agent. Just you see, it is theory part, as it is the same, almost same, similar mechanism action for, T-tubacurarin, but as a theoretically, I have given the description, the notes. But pancuronium, just nothing but it is neuromuscular blocking agent. It's a competitive neuromuscular blocking agent. So 5 times potent. See, what is the difference? See, that's what I said. In before, in future, better than T-tubacurarin is pancuronium. In future, some more better than we'll get, new medications. Okay, so why it is invented pancuronium means, it is a very because that is natural, this is synthetic, that is more side effect, this is less side effect. It is that is short acting, this is long acting. See, it is pancuronium hyphen, I wrote long acting. It is 5 times more potent than TC means tubacurarin. Keep it in mind. Produces good cardiovascular stability because there is more side effect, cardiorespiratory paralysis. That's what, see, only purpose is better than that, this pancuronium. Better than the tubacuronium is pancuronium. Understand, ma? Okay. So same mechanism actions as similar as it is, but better than that. Less side effect, less cardiorespiratory side effect. That's why, see, it does not release histamine, so it does not produce flushing, bronchospasm, allergic reaction. So it can cause rise in BP and tachycardia due to vagal blockage of noradrenaline. So if you remember, you write, otherwise you write as it is, T tuberculin mechanism action. Nothing has difference. Only just that you have to differentiate. It is long acting. It is a synthetic. It is better actions, and also very less cardiorespiratory side effect. Even though if I written, but you can make up the answer. So it is very good muscle relaxant. So because of the long duration of action, we can perform the for long surgeries, especially neurosurgery. It takes minimum 8 hours, 10 hours, even 12 hours also, especially for who are performing neurosurgery. But the T tuberculin is very short duration, very within 4 to very short duration, 2 to 3 hours or 2 to 4 hours only. But the pancreas will get long. That's what in heading itself I put long acting neuromuscular blocking agent. T tuberculin is very short acting. Okay, this is about pancuronium. Okay. So send this next one, centrally acting muscle relaxant. So here there is only I left out only up to classification. If it is separate question, especially allied science, if it is separate question, centrally acting muscle relaxant, you write this definition, classification, explain about diazepam, because diazepam already you have studied under sedative hypnotic. Okay, so that means you have to write a description about. So you have to separate question, you have definition, classification, you have to explain any one drug. You start right explain about diazepam, because diazepam is very good muscle relaxant. But only the difference is peripherally acting is directly action on the muscle cell. This is acting on the brain cell. I mean on brain, not brain cell. It's on action on brain. So this is about muscle relaxant. Okay, it's understood. Okay, I'll conclude this today's topic. So today we are discussed about the skeletal muscle relaxant. I mean muscle relaxant. Muscle relaxants. It produces muscle relaxants action via peripherally and centrally. So on peripherally, at it acting specifically on neuromuscular junction, on muscle fiber, and muscle cell. That means it action, it will affect the, it oppose or against the acetylcholine action, nothing but anticholinergic action via cholinergic receptor.